Good afternoon. I'm Jody Saunders. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for the Virginia Beach Police Department. This is a tough day for us, as we mourn the loss of 2 police officers who died in the line of duty. I ask that you be respectful, as we are still trying to process this heartbreak. Each media outlet will be allowed to ask 1 question and 1 follow-up. Again, please be considerate as we do our best to answer your questions while also protecting the integrity of this investigation. Thank you to the public who are here today. You may have questions, and we invite you to post those to the Virginia Beach Police Department Facebook page in the comments of the live video at the conclusion of this press conference. We will do our best to respond in a timely fashion. Standing in solidarity with us this afternoon are state and local elected officials. We want to express our thanks for the outpouring of support we are receiving, especially from our General Assembly members who are in session right now, as well as from several council members who could not be here today. Showing their support with us today is Mayor Bobby Dyer, Vice Mayor Wilson, Attorney General Miyares, Commonwealth Attorney Stolley, Sheriff Holcomb, and council members Ross Hammond, Hutchinson, Henley, Berlucci, Schulman, Remick, and Cummings, as well as the city manager, Patrick Duhaney, and our public safety leadership and administrative leaders. Mayor Bobby Dyer will start this press conference now, and then Chief Neudigate will provide a few updates. Thank you.
Good afternoon. If we may start with a moment of silence to honor the heroes who have paid the ultimate price to make Virginia Beach so great. Thank you. Today, our city is heartbroken. We mourn the loss of 2 of our own, brave Virginia Beach police officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Their dedication to protecting our community will never be forgotten. No words can ease the pain and loss. As we mourn, I ask our community to come together. Please keep these officers, their families, friends, and loved ones in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Mayor. Stand here to provide an update regarding the loss of 2 heroes. 2 heroes that went to work last night and didn't make it home. 2 heroes that paid the ultimate price for our society. And these 2 heroes, Officer Cameron Girvin and Officer Christopher Reese. Officer Girvin has been with the VBPD since 2020. Officer Reese has been with us since 2022. And I was just informed by the sheriff that prior to that, Chris was a deputy sheriff with the VBSO from 2019 to 2022. And last night, Officers Girvin and Reese were riding double in the 4th precinct assigned to the midnight shift traffic car. About 11:27 p.m. on South Rosemont, they observed a blue Hyundai Sonata with an expired plate. They attempted to stop this vehicle for an expired plate. The vehicle failed to yield. They followed the vehicle to the dead end of Sylvan Court, where it came to a stop. At the dead end of Sylvan Court, both officers approached the vehicle. The driver, the male driver, was immediately argumentative, refused to exit the vehicle at the officer's request. They made numerous requests for him to exit. At some point, he complied with those requests, stepped out of the vehicle. Almost immediately, there was a tussle between the officers and this individual. While that tussle was occurring, this individual pulled a pistol from his pocket and immediately shot both VBPD officers. Those officers fell to the ground. While on the ground, defenseless, he shot them each a second time. Numerous responding officers arrived, tried life-saving measures. EMS arrived, also trying those life-saving measures, and transported our two heroes to local hospitals. And despite valiant efforts by medical personnel, Officer Christopher Reese was pronounced deceased at Centera Princess Anne Hospital just past midnight, where he was surrounded by his family, friends, and fellow officers. Officer Cameron Girvin, pronounced deceased at Virginia Beach General Hospital approximately 4:30 a.m. this morning, surrounded by immediate family, friends, and his VBPD family. So the numerous responding officers who responded to the initial traffic stop and scene started a grid search looking for the suspect. And in a shed directly behind the apartment complex where the traffic stop occurred, we found an individual suffering from a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Now, ultimately, the determination and cause of death will be up to the medical examiner, but I could say that our preliminary investigation at this point in time, with everything that we know, lends us to believe that this is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. At no time did any of our officers fire shots. The suspect, who we're only going to name once, who senselessly murdered our two brave officers, has been identified as John McCoy III. He is a male 42 of the 3700 block of Sylvan Lane, Virginia Beach. These officers, not just members of this department, but their family, their friends, and they were protectors of this community. And I'm going to be quite honest, we're all hurting. We've got families that have lost a loved one in the prime of their life, and they are completely devastated. We've got an officer that is 25 years old, another one that is 30, with such a future ahead of him, senselessly taken. And I can tell you from seeing the faces of all the officers at the scene last night, the faces at the hospital, and our EMS and our fire personnel, we're hurting. The department's hurting, the city's hurting, and if you know Virginia Beach, we're a big city, but we're really just a small community, and I will tell you, this community is hurting. So the outpouring of support is giving us some comfort at this time. We have had support coming in from all across the country. Our peers I've heard from individuals in Israel, in England, that far away, with condolences and officers' support. But talk about local. Mr. Attorney General, thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, so incredibly important that you are here to support us. Our sheriff, thank you for being here today. I spoke with the governor not long ago, who called with his condolences and an offer of support for any assistance that we needed. Last night, a lot of agencies came together to try to make some sense out of this tragic situation. So thank you to my public safety partners that were there with us all night long, our fire chief, our EMS chief, 911, all the fire and EMS personnel. I know you bravely and valiantly tried everything you could do to save our officers. We have to thank VSP. They were here for us as well, and the hospital staff at both SPA and Beach General. I watched them do everything possible short of a miracle from above to try to save our officers, and we thank them. And Officers Girvin and Reese, they were dedicated, determined peace officers and public servants. They had stellar reputations in our department, and their work ethic beyond reproach. And we asked them to go out in this community and keep us safe from evil. And last night, evil found them. And that sacrifice is a painful reminder of the dangers our officers face and that unwavering commitment that they have to serve and protect. So, to the families of our fallen, we stand with you, we are grieving with you, and I vow that we will never forget the service and sacrifice of Cameron and Chris. To the men and women of this great department, I need you to lean on each other, support each other, and honor Cameron and Chris by continuing the mission they so bravely upheld. To our community, I ask you, please keep these families in your thoughts and prayers. Keep this department and this community in your thoughts and prayers. We have a long way to go. We still have jobs to do, and we may appear stoic on the outside, but I can tell you our hearts are broken on the inside. And we need your grace, and please help us. It will be day by day while we continue to serve this community and support the families in their time of need. And I'll take a few questions at this time.
Alex?
Chief Alex for Channel 13. So far, is there anything in this investigation yet that you believe reveals why exactly the suspect behaved in the way that he did once he stepped out of the car? Was there anything else found inside the vehicle? Anything about this individual's past?
At this point, no. And I think that is the question I have, the department has, the families have, the community has, is what would cause this individual to go to such grievous that he's going to take the lives of two officers over a traffic stop. We do know from his criminal history, he has one felony conviction from 2009, so it's not recent, but it does make him a felon, and a felon with a firearm would be a new felony charge. Whether that would be enough for him to decide to take this grievous act, I can't tell you. And I think we all want to know that, but I think only one person does, and that individual is deceased.
And just to follow up, not sure the level of conversation you had with the family themselves, but are you able to just kind of reveal a little bit to us about how those conversations went? Anything you learned about your officers maybe from that?
I don't want to speak too much because I know they're grieving, but immediate family was at both hospitals with us last night. They were present, as were a number of officers, when both passed. And right now, what we have promised is that we will not leave those officers' side. So, as you know, we had a very solemn procession to the medical examiner's office to show those officers the respect that they deserve for having given their lives for this community and this profession. Our honor guard is staying with those officers around the clock until we have a burial fitting for the occasion. So what we have committed to them is we will be with them side by side, step by step, and that, as I said, we will never forget Chris and Cameron.
Rhoda?
First, I would like to say I'm sorry for the loss of our police officers in this
Thank you, Rhoda.
case. It affected all of us as a whole. Would the second person in the vehicle be also charged with anything as far as our officers been shot last night?
We do not anticipate charges for anybody else in this incident.
Also, I'm so sorry for everyone's loss. If the suspect in this case is deceased, what happens now with the investigation and where body cameras going?
This incident was caught on both body-worn camera and the in-car camera, so yes, we do have video of all of it, and I will tell you it is quite horrific. and that's about all we'll say about it.
Is that all? Oh, Megan?
Taking these with Reese again, a follow-up to Rhonda's question, so can you confirm that there was a second person in the car when the traffic stop was initiated?
There was another individual in that car, yes.
And then a follow-up question, you mentioned that a lot of officers showed up to the hospital, and I know that it's beyond the work relationship with the family. Can you dive a little bit deeper into the support that they've been able to provide each other and the families that have been affected by this?
You know, that's one of our big concern right now is the support of our officers as well. We have a very young workforce. Not many in this room. I see a few that probably remember the last time that this happened. It was in 2008. So the vast majority of our workforce has never experienced loss of this magnitude. So this is very earth-shattering for them, and we're very concerned about how they're going to process and move forward. So one of the things that we've done as a command staff is effective this morning, we doubled all our officers up in cars. So there are no single cars out there, and what this does is give our officers the ability to have someone in that car with them to help process, help try to make sense of what occurred, and to make them feel that they have a semblance of safety.
Natalie?
Natalie with Virginia Pilot. Can you just describe a little bit about the general time frame when the suspect was found after the shooting occurred?
Yeah, the traffic stop, I believe, was at 11:27 p.m. I don't know the exact time that we found him, but I believe he was pronounced deceased by EMS staff at, I believe it was 12 hours. So it was pretty quick after the traffic stop.
And just a follow-up to that, I've been told by some neighbors that they spotted the suspect running in a nearby alleyway. Was that communicated to officers, and then they, went after the suspect to find them?
I don't believe that that was communicated. The officers were doing a thorough, systematic search and came across him. And whether he was running or not, what I can tell you from the video is after he executed our officers, he calmly walked away. So,
All right, thank you, everybody.
thank you all.